Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Savijram Karava Vai Tejasvinavadita Virvishavai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. So yesterday we were discussing the introduction of Gita chapter 7. And in this introduction, I basically wanted to communicate that the subject matter of Bhagwad Gita is Atma-Gyan. The entire discourse on the field of Kurukshetra was basically to bring about right understanding of who we are. Yesterday we were discussing that we all know I to some extent. The very fact that we are giving our introduction, that I am so and so, and I have these plans for future, and I've got these memories of the past, all these things, they are the proof that I already know something about myself. But the different in perception, the different in understanding between ourselves and the men of knowledge. What is the difference? The difference is that whatever we see, whatever we understand, whatever we have concluded about ourselves, that I am so and so, and whatever these men of knowledge, the wise men, whatever they are seeing about themselves, there is a profound difference in that. While the I is common, I am also saying I. They are also saying I. Aham Brahmasmi, Ayam Atma Brahma. I am all pervasive, I am imperishable, I am timeless, I am unborn. All these things, these wise people, they are telling about I. And what we are seeing about this I is something which is limited, perishable. So even though we do have some understanding about I, and it is this I alone which is the subject matter of all Vedanta, the understanding of I varies so drastically. And our journey as a student of self-knowledge is to investigate our own understanding of I, and wherever there is any misapprehension, wherever there is any possible imagination about ourselves, because this happens in the world. The classic example, I was walking on the shore of a sea and I saw a seashell. And I thought, oh wow, what a lucky day, I got a silver piece. I got a silver coin today. And when I go near, it was shining like silver. But when I pick it up, I thought, oh, it's just a shell. So these kind of misapprehensions, wrong understanding, they keep on happening. I've got a neighbor, I've got a relative, and I've got very negative understanding about it. This fellow is not good. This fellow is a rascal. Should never believe this fellow. I've already been bitten twice. I thought that he's a good person, but he deceived me. So there are people, I get negative understanding. But by himself, that fellow is a very good fellow. It is always possible that my understanding about somebody is not valid. It's not correct. Yet, I am free to keep any understanding. Nobody is stopping me that I should stop, believing something. I can believe anything. I can believe, a stone in the temple is God Himself. Or even when God comes, I think I don't believe that He is God. So that is our discretion. That is our freedom. We can believe anything. And unfortunately, we have believed that this Atma, it is very small. It is limited. And it is on this conclusion that I have based my entire life. All my planning, all my dreams, all my ambitions are all based on this thing, and even my sadhanas, all my meditation. I'm doing meditation regularly. But how do I do my meditation? Oh God, I'm such a small fellow. You please lift me up, and I want to become complete. I want to become limitless. And God keeps on smiling. He says, you stupid fool. You're already that, and you're saying that I want to become complete. Okay, fine. It is not that you want to become complete, but what is required is right knowledge. So this is one thing which I was trying to discuss yesterday, that the subject matter of Bhagwad Gita is Atma Jnana alone. And when Atma Jnana, when self-knowledge is not there, valid self-knowledge, right self-knowledge, even though we have seen that some self-knowledge is already there. I can write a book about myself. Autobiography of a Swamiji and all nonsense. Nothing valid, all imaginary. Just as I was dreaming something and I am writing about my dream, who cares? Fine, it is your dream, I also got my own dreams. So, what is required is the right understanding. So this is one thing, and suppose we do not have right understanding, what is the problem? Suppose if I have some negative understanding, unvalid understanding, incorrect understanding. So what is the problem? It's my life. I can believe anything. I can believe, I'm an angel. I can believe, I'm a demon. I can believe anything. What's the problem? The problem is, whenever there is wrong understanding, there will be grief in life, sorrow in life. Nobody in this world, in this entire creation, they ever give you sorrow. Least of all, God never gives you any sorrow. But yet everybody is suffering. Everybody is suffering in the world. Terribly suffering, crying, grieving. Why all this grief is taking place? So different people, they analyze this problem in different way. A political person will say, bring my party in power and then all your sorrow will go away. Economists will say, no, when the GDP and the per capita income of all the people becomes this much, then there will be prosperity all over. Everybody will be happy thereafter, in case the per capita income is good enough. Okay, you go to a country where per capita income is the highest. Is everybody happy there? They have to take drugs and open so many bottles of whatnot, different kind of spirituality is there. They have to take resort of spirits even to sleep. And they say that, when the per capita income becomes this much, we will be happy thereafter. So what are you dreaming about? There is so much problems and sorrow in places like US and West. That's just unimaginable. In fact, many places, they are warned that please don't go on the street in the night. In case if you go on the street, there will be people who will come and rob you. This is the place, and there are people who are homeless. Somebody, just went for a meeting in US, and he was saying, Guruji, I am surprised. So many homeless people they are there. They don't have a place to stay. And I'm surprised, on one hand, you have such unimaginably rich people. And on the other hand, people, they don't have food also to eat. No place to sleep. And you are saying that, when the people will have a lot of money, then there will be happiness thereafter. We are living in a fool's paradise. Is it the truth? We want truth. We are seeking truth because we are going to devote our lives to that understanding and philosophy. So this is not right. As long as a person continues to be an individual, as long as you are an individual, so long you are still dreaming. You have not woken up to the truth. And therefore, it is not that, this individual has to experience some very blissful state of existence. I want to experience God. Okay, what are you going to experience? Ananda, bliss, ecstasy, joy, fulfillment. That is what I am going to experience. He says, no, that is not right. If an individual keeps on experiencing anything, you are free to imagine whatever you want to imagine. But remember, you are an individual. You are insecure. You are limited. You are a seeker. You are dependent. And as long as any person is dependent on anything outside, whether it is a person or property or resource or experience or person, my wife is very good. Okay, very nice. You are a very lucky fellow. One of the few lucky fellows in this world. Because this is a very rare commodity for anyone. And your wife is so good, an angel. Oh, yes, I'm very lucky. She takes care of me so nicely. But remember, she's also an individual. She also has her likes and dislikes. She also has her dreams. And the most unfortunate part is she's also perishable. She will go away one day. What will be your life without your wife? Yes, no life without wife. Wife is very important. As long as she is good and as long as, she keeps on obeying you and doing her best, she's very good. Anything outside is very good. You find good people in the life. You find good friends, you find good relatives, and wife and children. It's very good. Good people, they're always rare. And here we say that whenever you find good people in life, consider that to be your punya, your good karmas. Because your good karmas are there, you are getting good people in your life. So it is very good, You have done good karmas and you are getting good people. But we are investigating something deeper. That fine, there are so many good people, there are so many good places, there are quiet places, there are peaceful places. But do you think that depending on anything will bring moksha? If you depend on anything outside, even though a very blissful experience, that's not the way to go. You are a seeker. You are still a limited fellow. And whatever you accrue in your life is going to go away. It's perishable also. This is the domain of time and space. Anything which is in the domain of time and space, it's all perishable. It's going to go away. It's just like a dream. We have our dreams every day. But dreams, the moment you wake up, it's gone. Just as dreams disappear after some time, so also every experience of life is going to disappear. So it is not a wise prescription, wise suggestion to depend on anything. Oh, I'm so lucky, I've got nice children, I've got nice income, and I've got good returns, I've got good status in life. This is very good. You have worked hard for that. You have done good karmas. And therefore you have acquired all these things. But please be warned that as long as you are dependent on anything, you are going to suffer. Not only that, good things are there, but still are people happy just because of good things? Happiness from anything does not depend upon the object. Happiness depends upon your mind. How happy we are when we see a flower, when we see a beautiful bird. Are you happy to see a bird? Yes, they are good, they are nice, very colorful. That's all. But there are people who become poets, They write so beautifully just on some small things. There's a very famous writer in Sanskrit. He wrote a big book on clouds, Meghdut. He was Kalidas. Kalidas was one of the very, very famous, and he was living nearby in a place called Ujjain. And he became so good. You see one small thing and you can describe so beautifully. People, they don't see. People, they don't enjoy. Everything is made by God in this creation. But do you really believe that we are so happy to see anything? Not anything. Only few things. few things which I like and I have got likes and dislikes for them. That thing, I am happy. So even when people, they are good, still we are not happy. Continuously we are seeking and seeking and seeking. This endless seeking is what is the characteristic of individual jiva. To remain a jiva, that is, the proof of being in ignorance, and that is the problem. In case if you do not know Atma, if you do not know the truth of yourself, what is the value of any knowledge which you have? No, I have done my MBA, BBA, whatever it is, M.Tech, B.Tech. But do you know about yourself? Who are you? No, I don't know about myself, but I know how to make this machine all right. I can, mend your computer, but I cannot mend my mind. The best computer, the ultimate computer is mind. I've got all short circuits there, all confusions there. It doesn't become quiet, it's not focused, it's not concentrated, and it's all worrying. This is the proof that, I'm living in a fool's paradise. I'm living in an imaginary world. I do not know about myself. In this very world, in this very human body, anyone who has investigated into the truth of myself, they don't have all these problems. They are quiet, they are satisfied, they are fulfilled, not because, I've got this or that. In spite of that, I am that. So that is the objective, and therefore Atma-Gyan is something which everybody in the world should be striving for. They should be pushed for this knowledge. If you really love anyone, try to give them Atma-Gyan. This is the truth, whether you like it or you do not like it. They are part of that infinite divinity. And ultimately they are that. So this is one thing, Atma-Gyan is the subject matter. Number two, point which we discussed yesterday, which I'll just summarize shortly, is that, okay, fine, we are an individual. How do we go about? How do we get knowledge? So we discussed two methods. One method was you remain an individual and seek the infinite. You remain finite, you remain limited, you remain jiva, and then search and seek outside. Which majority people, they pursue that method. So many people sitting in meditation, they are also trying to experiment with this proposition. Today I got experience of Brahman. Today God came in my dream. God came in my meditation. And then he went away. What kind of God you are pursuing? God which comes and goes. If God comes and goes, then God is like my Mamaji, my uncle. He also comes and goes. Anyone, he is like my relative, he is like a good person, he comes and goes. If somebody comes and goes, they are not limitless. That is not God. That may be the picture of God which I like, I worship, I pray to. But the very definition of God is that which is limitless, imperishable, all-pervasive, which is present in all space and all time. That is the truth. So most of the people, they try to experience something outside. They do all kind of meditation and they say, nothing is happening. When will God bless me? When will He come in my life? He says, He's already there. I don't see. I want to see God of my imagination, not the real God. That God is not coming. Some other God has come. So that is not the way to go. If you continue to remain an individual and seek outside, you are never going to find Brahman, the limitless. And there is another method. The method of negation. In this methodology of negation, I humbly realize that I have got some wrong notions, some wrong understanding about myself, and all what I have to give up is to negate, to drop. So I close my eyes, I drop all the thoughts, and I drop all the anxieties or worries. I keep on dropping. In this path, I just have to drop something. There is a mantra which says, Tyage Naike Amritattva Manashu. This mantra we chant in the Arati also. Tyage Naike Amritattva Manashu. It is just by dropping that we are going to reach ultimate. So what all I have to drop? Not just the thoughts, not just the objects, but I have to drop even the desire to experience. I want to experience God. He says, the moment you say this, what does it imply? That you will remain a seeker and one day you will get God. So that is not the truth. You have to stop becoming a seeker. You have to stop becoming an individual. Individuality is something which has to be negated. In one of the places, Shankaracharya says, Tyaja dharmam adharmam cha. Negate everything, drop everything. And in the end he says, Yena tejasi tat tyaja. And thereafter this doer, this individual, has also to be appreciated as something which is imaginary. Can you drop that also? Drop everything. Amishi, in case I drop everything, I go to sleep. And that is what I do in the night. When I go on the bed after a good dinner, thereafter I drop all the thoughts, I drop all the desires, I keep aside all my loving people, and thereafter it happens. It happens that I go to sleep. I start snoring. So it has happened. The fellow has transcended and gone to a different level altogether. So by negating everything, even the individual, who is going to experience? If individual is not there, who is going to experience? How can I keep aside individual also? He says individual is not something which has to be just ignored. You need not just, keep aside the individual. What is important is, why don't you understand the individual? Jiva has to be understood properly. From where has the jiva come? It's in your mind. And therefore you are the real creator of jiva. Your mind has created jiva. Individuality, your individuality is not come in my mind, it is in your mind. So your mind alone is creating this. Can we just investigate that? So what the teachers of Vedanta they do is that they investigate the entire process of creation of individuality. Don't try to experience anything. Try to see that who wants to experience. And why do you want to experience? From where had this notion come that by experiencing you are going to become liberated? It is these things which have to be clarified very nicely. It is these things which have to be understood very nicely. It's all about negation of limitations. Understanding, negation is never by non-perception. Negation is by understanding. There is one negation, that you stop seeing something and it's gone. No, it is not that. Non-perception of an object is not called negation. Negation is appreciation of ephemerality, perishability. When you understand that something, this is just a fallacious perception, it's not real. And that is one negation. Negation is when I was traveling in a desert and there I saw mirage water. In the desert, I saw water. I said, oh wow, lucky. I was so thirsty. And I've got a whole river, a whole lake of water is right in front of me. I started running. So many animals in the desert, that is what they do. And they are so thirsty. They see, flickering surface of water. And they run after that. And they keep on running. And the water also keeps on running. It keeps on going far and far. So that is just a wrong, fallacious perception. So many times when these things happen, we see something which is ephemeral. And there's the word in Sanskrit, there's the word mithya. It is just mithya, it's not there. So also, whenever we appreciate something as mithya, we are not going after non-perception. These jnanis, these great teachers, they see individuals still working in the world. Yet for them it is mithya. It is not that jnanis, do they see the world? Are they seeing the colors and the trees and the animals and the birds? Do they see all this thing? Or everything has become God? Well, everything is basically divine, that is all right. But yet, the perception is not absent. The perception of the world, it continues to be there. Perception of individual is there. But yet we appreciate that this individuality is mithya. And therefore, it's not given reality. And when you negate everything, even the desire to get mukti also is given up. I want, mukti. He says, well, who wants mukti? I want mukti. And I have come for mukti only from other part of the world, Guruji. I've taken 3 flights to come here. I've come so far just to get mukti. And here I am, you are saying you won't get mukti. Well, you will not get mukti because you are already mukta. You don't know that. You are imagining something about yourself, and that imaginary entity, is to be negated. It's not the real you. So this is the thing that, we have to appreciate this, that the path which I have to undertake is of negation. Can you drop everything? Even your understanding about yourself. Not forget it, not ignore it, but appreciate this individuality to be imaginary. Just like a dream. Every day we see dreams. Seeing dreams is not a problem, but to take it as a real. Some time back, we went to a forest and we saw a big tiger there. Seeing tiger in a forest is hair-raising. You remember all the gods which you have heard till now. Such a huge fellow. Violent, terrible, very, very strong. The height from nose to tip of his tail is this much of this room size. He's such a huge fellow. 600 to 700 tons. Such a strong fellow. Even if his hand comes, it is such a huge hand. And he kills, big, big animals just by his hand. And we saw it right in front of our jeep. And our jeep was going, and everybody said, how lucky, how lucky. I said, oh God. Is this good luck or bad luck? I don't know. That I'll come to know in the future. If we survive this moment and, then we can say good luck. Wild animal in the forest. Roaming free. We are sitting inside jeep and that was also open. Open jeep and, the driver had got instructions that don't go too near him. And that fellow started coming towards our jeep. On the road, he was coming towards the jeep. He reversed the jeep. Went around 50 feet. And that fellow kept on coming towards us. And everybody was doing Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Oh God, help me. Yes. And, he was smiling also. His whiskers were there and they were twitching also. The Swamijis were also there. They will remember that moment of life. The time stopped. There was no time, there was no space, and there was no Jagat. Nothing in there except that fellow. Those who could retain some balance in their mind, they were clicking photographs. Tiger. Everybody was meditating and praying with the entire devotion at their command. So all these, experiences are there in life. Such terrible moments. But these things, they come and go. And luckily, of course, we survived that moment. That is why today I am sitting and narrating all that experience. It came and went away. It was a dream. I don't know whether it was a good dream or a bad dream, but it was an awesome dream. So, these dreamlike things, they come and go. What is required by a student of Vedanta, by a student of self-knowledge, is to give it, to negate everything. Negate by right knowledge. Negate by right understanding. Not thoughtlessly negate, not just ignore, not just keep aside, but right understanding. Thoughts come. What is a thought? How does thought come? By understanding thoughts properly, the thinker properly, then they get negated. And in case if I can negate all these things, give up everything. And just imagine, when you give up everything, what happens? No thought, no thinker, no desire, no liberation, no mukti, everything you give up. Those rare few who can resort to right knowledge and give up everything, they get some new experience. Having negated everything, even the desire to become mukta. Because the desire to become mukta, it is born out of your understanding that you are still a jiva. So therefore, when everything is negated, at that time, that which is remaining, there is something which is remaining. There is something which is non-negatable, which cannot be negated thereafter. You need to discover that. And anyone can discover. The only criteria is that they should be a human being. As long as you are a human being, you can negate everything. And thereafter, there is something which is timeless, which transcends time and space, which is limitless. And that is our real truth. So, self-knowledge is the subject matter, and self-knowledge is got by right understanding. By right understanding, everything gets negated. And once you negate everything, then you realize yourself to be the limitless reality. So this is the overall plan of action. And that which is left behind is limitless Brahman. All that thing has already been discussed. Now what is there in the 7th chapter, Guruji? If all these things have already been told, then what is there in the 7th chapter? He says 7th chapter is that Brahman, you have to know something which is limitless. Existence of limitless is not a very common thing. We are living in a limited world. So much for such a long time that even to think about limitless, that's also not very common. And not only I need to appreciate the limitless, but I need to love limitless. Because whatever you become, you need to love that. Whatever you have become today also, you loved all this thing one day. Whatever you have acquired in your life, you dreamt about that. And in case if you sincerely love something, you will become that. There is no secret about regarding this fact of life. So you just sincerely love. Sincerely love that which is the limitless, which is God. When somebody loves, sincerely loves, then they can abide in that. They can wake up to that. So it is not just inquiry. It has to be out of your love, your devotion. Things outside in the world, materialist people, they are very hardworking. Look at the Chinese, there's no religion there. Once the communism came, even in Russia, once upon a time there was communism and God was just like all churches were like museums. And so many good churches. I also went to Moscow in Russia and I was shown, look at this beautiful temple, beautiful church. It has become office of government. It has become school. It has become an institute. So when communists, they don't believe in God. In fact, they believe that religion is like an opium. It's like a drug. And you believe in God too much, you become drug addict. So also all these people, they are drug addicts. And therefore they are not going to work hard. China also, they say, no, in case if we want our people to really start working hard, we should keep aside religion and make them responsible. Better you consider yourself to be a messenger of God and start working hard. But karma has to be there, work hard. Whatever your field, you should work hard for that. So therefore, there are so many people, they don't bring in God. They just simply work hard. But here, Bhagwan says, having understood that which is the ultimate reality, there is one limitless reality. There is Brahman. Not only you need to inquire about that, meditate on that, but you need to have great respect, devotion, and love for that. Therefore, in places like this ashram, which is basically devoted to Advaita Vedanta, the study of non-dual reality, we have temples also. Because devotion and love and emotion is part of our personality. Whether we like it or we don't like it. Every person has got heart. Every person has got emotions. That also has to be directed unto the feet of God. You should love God. You should love God just as you have loved anybody in life. Have you loved anyone sincerely? Basically, very few people, they know love. Love is, generally associated with pleasures. I love you. When somebody says that, you know that this fellow either, wants some physical experience or maybe sensual experience. All that. We have associated love with some sensuality. In fact, it has nothing to do with sensuality. Love is something so deeper, it is so pure. Not only you love your wife, you also love your children. You love your parents. You love your teachers. You love your friends. What is love? Love is that you like something, but you don't want anything. It's not that I want something. And I can still know somebody, I can relate with somebody without trying to want anything. I love my students. I love all the guests who have come. Because I want your well-being. I just wish that, I do something by which your life gets fulfilled. I cherish that. I like that. And wherever this kind of motivation is there, some love is expressing. But love towards God is something which is still more profound. In 7th chapter, Lord Krishna, he tells about that which is the ultimate inquiry of that, but also he says it is very, very important that you love Brahman. You love that reality. So this is how the 7th chapter is starting. So in the first shloka, that is how Lord Krishna, he starts. In many chapters, there is a question by Arjuna, but in this 7th chapter, Krishna himself starts. He says, I'm going to tell you something different. I'm going to tell you something new. Last chapter was Dhyana Yoga, meditation. It's already over. So you are a good person, you are already knowledgeable, you have taken up that path of negation, you have negated your ego and all that thing, and you can sit down in meditation. But now this thing I am going to add to that. So what does he say? So we will now start to enter the chapter, chant the shloka, and then we will see the meaning of this. Shri Bhagwan Vacha Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Gyasya Shrunu Shri Bhagwan Vacha. So this is what is the words of Bhagwan. What does Bhagwan say? He says, in the first line, he suggests something. In case if you have this kind of devotion, if this attitude is there, then I can guarantee one thing. Asamshayam, without any doubt. In the second line, asamshayam means without any doubt. Samagramam yatha jnanasyasi. You will know myself completely, samagram, entirely. Today you also know myself, but partly, little bit. But little bit knowledge is dangerous knowledge. Whenever a person knows anything little bit, don't take any medicine from that doctor. Here there is a saying, Neem Hakim Khatre Jan. Anybody who is a doctor, who gives prescription, and that fellow does not know anything properly, know him to be a dangerous fellow. He's going to complicate your diseases and you are going to be taken for a ride. And after some time, you will be admitted in the hospital. So where it started? From this doctor. So, wrong understanding has been the cause of all the suffering in life. We have known ourselves wrongly. My individuality is wrong understanding. In case if I know anything wrongly, then I've had it. All the problems will start coming. Therefore, Bhagwan says, Samagram. Samagram means entirely, holistically, completely, fully. So, what is important is to know Gyasyasi, Samagram Mam Gyasyasi. You need to know myself completely, as it is, not partly. Have you understood? I've understood little bit, Guruji. Little bit, then you are a dangerous fellow. In case anybody has understood little bit knowledge is not good knowledge. That is a problem. Because all kind of imaginations will have to come. Whenever there is limited knowledge, so long there has to be some imaginations. Bhagwan says, no, I will tell you a way by which you can, evade little bit knowledge and get samagram knowledge. Samagram is a very nice word. Samagram means that's our goal, that's our aim. Fully, completely. And he says, without any doubt, asamshayam, I can assure you, because I've done it myself, I've done it so many times. My teachers also, there's a teacher of Lord Krishna. Even though he was God himself, but when he came in the form of a human being, then to follow the tradition, he went to a Gurukul. And he had his teacher also. Do you know the name of teacher of Lord Krishna? Sandeepani. Sandeepani Guru. So, Lord Rama, his Guru was Vashishta Rishi. And Lord Krishna, anybody who comes in this world takes up a human form, they have to get some Guruji. So Gurujis are never unemployed. They always get employment, they are busy all the time. Everybody has to get a Guru. Right direction, proper valid direction. Even though Lord Krishna was basically the unborn reality, but he shows the ways to the other people. And you should go to a teacher, not waste your time by yourself. You are a good person, but don't imagine all these things. Study properly. So he went to Sandeepani Ashram. Rishi Sandeepani. And that place is nearby, not very far off from here. And I think Alexi saw also that place last time, I don't know. But it is in Ujjain. In Ujjain, one of the places, basically, all these people, they went for darshan of Bhagwan Shiva, Mahakaleshwar, but nearby, an old place of Sandeepani Rishi, where Krishna came and he studied. And he says, my teacher has also told me this, and I have experienced that, I have validated this. And all the Upanishads, all the Vedas are also talking about it. So Arjuna, what I am telling you is a very proven thing, valid knowledge. Asamshayam, without any doubt, you need not worry about this. Just do it. And thereafter you will get Samagram Mangyasisi. You will know myself completely. So what do I have to do? He says that Maya Sakta Mana Partha. Partha is the name of Arjuna. One of the names of Arjuna, and there are so many names. Kaunteya, when referring to his mother Kunti, then his name becomes Kaunteya. So one of the names is Partha, one is Arjuna, and all these different names. And all of us have different names. Your mother will call you differently. Your father will call you differently. Oh, stupid fellow, come here. Oh, buffoon. When are you going to study and get wise? So your father will have different name. And your wife will have different name. You are my love, you are my darling, you are my everything. Oh, my life. So she'll have different name. Your friends, oh rascal, come here. So just as we also have different names, so also Arjuna has different names. And all very nice, good, very interesting names. So various scholars, they study even the names. You know, what are the implications? Why he uses this name so often? What are the connotations of every name? So one of the names, whenever he wants to call Arjuna very lovingly, then he will call Partha. O Partha, Maya Satmana. Number one, the first quality which I am talking about is this quality that these people, they are as good as attached to me. They are emotionally so, attached to me. They love me. Asakta, Mai Asakta Manaha. The three words. And when you combine these three words, it becomes Maya Sakta Manaha. What does it mean? He said their mind, Manaha, their mind is Asakta to me. What is Asakti? Asakti is basically not very good. Asakti is a quality of ignorant people who are attached to somebody, terribly attached, without which you can't imagine your life. So dependent. Suppose, I've got some problem in my legs. So I take a walking stick. Now, walking stick is something without which I cannot walk. Suppose. And some time back, I had that problem. So there's a disease called chikungunya. And chikungunya comes by mosquitoes. And some time back, many people in the city, they got infected by chikungunya. And when chikungunya comes, as winter starts, chikungunya goes away. So you need not worry. Because those mosquitoes, they have gone to warmer places. So those mosquitoes, special Aedes, those mosquitoes, they don't like cold climate. And people who are coming from cold climate also, they don't like. And especially from Russia, -40. I don't want to go in that road also. If they are staying in Vedanta Ashram, I don't want to go to Vedanta Ashram. So those mosquitoes, they'll disappear. You are safe. But they visited me when the weather was warm. And when, chikungunya comes, I tell you, all the joints in your body, you realize them. You don't realize God, you realize your joints. You can't move any joints. It's very, very painful. Even touching anything is painful. So it's God's creation. God has given good health also, and God has given pain also. We have to take both these things, with equanimity and balance. At that time, I had walking stick. And you know what was my relationship with walking stick? Asakti. Asakti is I can't think of moving here and there without my walking stick. Walking stick was something which was my necessity, which was my need. I couldn't get up, I couldn't walk. So that kind of, problem I had. At that time I was remembering the 7th chapter. Maya Saktamana. Just as you have this terrible asakti and dependence and attachment. Asakti means attachment. Attachment for your own sake, not for walking stick sake. I am attached to, walking stick, not I am doing favor to that walking stick. I am taking help. So also there are so many people, they are attached to people. There are people in life you can't do without them. They're very nice, very helpful, very caring, very loving. And your existence without them is unimaginable. Whenever there are any such people, then we start depending on them. We can't imagine our existence without them. Whenever you can't imagine your existence without anything, then that relationship is called attachment, asakti. And very interesting, Bhagwan Krishna is talking that, when you have to become attached to me. He says, Bhagwan, attachment is not a very good quality. Attachment is only out of your own personal agenda, your own requirement. Well, then it is all right. To begin with, that is all right. But at least, there are people who start loving Brahman, they start loving God, they start loving the limitless reality terribly. They can't even exist for some time without love for God. Do you have that love for God? Anywhere you say it, Krishna, 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 Ram, 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 Shiva, 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 Shiva. Whatever name you are giving. Yes, your name is not an issue. It could be any name. Any name you associate yourself, associate with God. When you take that name, you remember there is awareness of God. You remember God. Even though you may not know God, but at least there is existence of God. You are sure that there is a limitless reality. There is a timeless reality. There is a transcendental reality. And I have given one name for that. And you imagine whatever it is. You can take up any form. To start your journey, basically God is without any form. God doesn't have any form. All the temples and all the churches and all these things, they have a form. It has nothing to do with God. They are just symbols. They just help us remember God. This is not God. The stone is not God. Stone, I got it from the market. When I was establishing this mandir, we all went to one place where statues are made. Very nice, artists are there, sculptors are there. They create beautiful statues. So we went to that place. And there we found so many statues. And that statue of Allah, that fellow, he served us tea. He said, Swamiji, you can have some tea. I said, yes, I will have some. And where he put the an asana, cloth where I should sit down and have tea. It was on Hanumanji. I was sitting on the head of Hanumanji. Statue of God. I was sitting on that and having tea. And he was telling me, don't worry, today now it is not, worshipped one. Pran Pratishtha, you have not infused life into that. It's only after doing that karma, that whole ritual, thereafter it will become worshipable. You will be able to worship this statue as Bhagwan. Not before that. Before you can have tea on that. We can make it like a table, we can make it like a chair, we can become converted into stools. You sit down and have your. Just imagine all these people. They were sitting on God and having tea. But at that time it was not consecrated. Once it is consecrated, thereafter we go to mandir and pray to God. O Jagadishwara, O Gangeshwar Mahadev, Om Kareshwar Mahadev, Mahakaleshwar. How with profound devotion everybody prays the Mother. And they get blessed also. So form is secondary, it is helpful, therefore we take up a form. But we never worship stone. We see the stone, anything which is visible, anything which you can touch, just as you can touch the stone. So also you can directly experience that Brahman. One day, you can wake up to that. It is as clear as that. That is why some symbol in the beginning is fine, but more important, the context of Vaya, the subject matter of Vaya is, Krishna is saying that, Mai asakta manaha. You should love God. You should have asakti towards God. Asakti is that you depend on God. Don't have an ego that, no, I am not going to depend on anything. No, I am Brahman myself. He says, ultimately you will become Brahman. But learn to love Him. In case if you don't love God, then when are you going to become one with God? Incidentally, whomsoever you love sincerely, one day you become one with that person. That is the truth of life. I love sweets very much. And you give me some sweets on my table, on my plate. The Dvaita will disappear soon and Advaita will be there. Suddenly my hands will stretch, my fingers will catch the laddu, and my mouth will open, and Dvaita will end and Advaita will become there. If you sincerely love anyone, then One day you have to become one with that. So he says, knowledge and inquiry is good. And I'm going to give you some very good tips about knowledge also. But this point is very, very important. You should sincerely love God. And you cannot do without God. Just as, a patient cannot do without his walking stick. Just as you cannot do your life without some person in your lives. So nice people. Just as a child cannot do anything without his mother or father. Just as, you cannot live without your specs. Otherwise, I won't be able to see 336, whatever, so many people. I see double. I take out my specs, I see double. But the moment I wear my specs, I come down to reality. Okay, only this much. Okay, fine. So it is part of my life. I'm attached to this. Because I cannot do anything without it. I can't even see. Attachment is a very interesting, but it has dependence. Dependence towards, great people, nice people is not a problem. But when you have attachment to petty things, lousy things, then it will become an endless cycle. Attachment towards, your guru, knowledgeable people, you'll always, revel in his teachings. If you have attachment towards something great, so that is never a problem. Even though the word itself, attachment, it has some connotations about dependence. But that is all right. It's acceptable. As long as you are always reveling in God. And whenever you have attachment towards anyone, whether you close your eyes, whether you open your eyes, whether you are in a dream, whether you are meditating, which thoughts come in your mind? When you are meditating, what comes in your mind? You just watch. So all those things with which we are attached. Attachment is something because of which all these things, they will be effortlessly there in your mind. So basically, what Krishna is saying, you should have love, you should have devotion, you should have bhakti. Towards your own goal, not towards anybody else. That which you want to attain in life. Today your life is, you want to attain, you want to get such knowledge, you want to experience Brahman, but your love is towards, what is there in the bank. All the money, and all the people, and all the experiences. I have greater love for all those things rather than Brahman. So it says, in case if this lopsided approach is there, only your brain, your understanding is going in that direction, but your heart is not getting involved. Then sorry, you will not know me completely. Samagram mam na gyasyasi. Samagram mam gyasyasi is possible only when maya sakta manafata. Not only that, yogam yunjan, three things he says. Number one, maya sakta mana. Number two, he says yogam yunjan. And number three, he says madashraya. So please understand these 3 points properly, and I can assure you if you take care of these three qualities. What are these three qualities? Maya Sakta Manaha. Number 2 is Yoga Yunjan. Number 3 is Madashraya. So I have discussed about the first quality and the second line and these two other words. I will pick up tomorrow. Okay? So today we conclude at this stage. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Hari Om Namah Parvati Har Har Narmade Har Bolo Ganga Maya Ki